as I said, Frankie, to everyone else, feel free to tell me after if you don't want your recording used. But I have 3 questions that I would love to ask each of you, and if you wanted to just share really authentically. But firstly, I thought I'd take you into a meditation to help so that you can get the insights yourself being in meditation. So I invite you just to close your eyes again. And if you want to have a pen and paper nearby, you can, but you really don't need to. It's up to you. Everyone's different. But just inviting you back into your breath. Breathing deeply to the belly. And just as you use that breath as like an anchor, center point, a point of focus, helping you to remain present and in the now, out of the thinking mind. Just going to invite you to visualize yourself. It was probably 5 months ago now, 4 or 5 months ago when we started this course. Bringing that version of you to the forefront of your mind, your third eye. You might see an image of yourself. And just remembering back to what were your biggest challenges when you started this course? Like, what was happening in your home environment? What was happening with your kids? What was happening in your life, in your relationships? Like, what was happening for you? What were the challenges? What drew you to the course in the first place? And then what has been the positive changes for you since then? For 4 or 5 months down the track, what have been the positive changes? What has changed within yourself, in your parenting, in your relating? Could be in any area of your life, really, because a lot of this work does come back to some of our inner child and our experiences. But what have been the positive changes? Just really feeling into what all of those are, and really just taking this moment like to celebrate yourself as well, because if you have shown up and you've watched the modules and you've taken action, then you're the one that's created the change. You've just followed the process. And the next question would be, if you were to share this course with other parents, or recommend, or if you believe other parents should do this course also, why? You may not. You might go, nah, I don't think anyone needs to do this course. But if you do think that other parents would benefit from this course, why would they benefit from this course? You know, what would be possible for other parents and other families? And when you're ready, if you want to take any notes, you can. Otherwise, I'm going to invite you back onto the screen. I'm just writing the questions in the chat. So what was your biggest challenge when you started? Here's the first one. What have been positive changes? So I'm just gonna go randomly around my screen, and we're just gonna share if everyone's open to doing that. I just think it's a really beautiful way of celebrating each of you and honoring each of you and this process as well. So, Caitlin, would you like to go first?
Sure. Oh, yeah, gotta talk.
You just talk. I guess I'll pre-frame. My plan is to just take little snippets of this recording to create a little video if everyone's okay with it. But you don't need to worry about what you're saying or how or what. You can just
Yeah.
integrate to the process. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So I guess my biggest challenge when I started was probably I was too controlling of the situations of being a parent. Like, got to have the kids at school at this time, got to have dinner at this time, they're going to have bed at that time. So being in control made me angry a lot because it never works out like that. So that, I guess, was the biggest challenge when I first started the program. Um, what the positive changes have been, I've noticed myself let go of having that control, just wake up, just have fun with the kids. When you're having fun, it flows better. Make it all a game. Let's all pick a shoe. Let's do this. Let's sing a song while we're putting our shoes on. So it's been incorporating fun, has made it, I don't know, easier. And that's the word that really comes to me. And you do say it all in all the every recording, the ease, flow, and whatever it is that you say. But yeah, it's ease. It just made it easier, um, just by doing the most simple little things. So I don't know if that's
Beautiful.
helped.
I think that's the main, I guess for me, that's the main thing that I have always heard parents desire is like just to have more ease and flow.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's where I guess the title of this program came from. And then it was like, well, what do we get to change within ourselves, or what do we get to learn to be able to have more ease and flow? And it is an ongoing journey, but
yeah.
yeah.
I
So
guess it's more too, like, I've just incorporated fun in everything I do now. So just make everything fun. It's not even just with the kids. It's, yeah, like with your partner, go and do fun things that make you both happy, do fun things at work. I don't know. Everything's,
yeah.
it just makes it so much easier.
So it's like reconnecting to your inner child, would you say?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
allow you to then connect in that childlike essence with your kids.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
100%.
And I know for you that it's been quite an emotional journey as well, or a challenging journey. Did you want to talk to any of that or anything that's
Yeah. Pretty much each week, lots of emotional things were coming up, or the kids um, would react in certain ways. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? We've never done this before. Why is this coming up? That's obviously been stuff that I've now learnt that I have to deal with, and just having awareness of where it has impacted me in my life. And yeah, it's just given me tools to go back, accept that, to be able to move on. Um,
yeah.
so, and to be honest, it's kind of just when you understand that that did impact you, it's like you can kind of let it go as well.
Yeah, like really getting to the core of the triggers.
Yeah. And just having an understanding and empathy around it.
And the more empathy that we have for ourselves, the more empathy we then have for our kids.
Yeah. And it's funny because I do notice conversations like that people have with my kids, and they'll say certain things and I'm like, I don't think you really listened to what they were saying. You didn't listen to their emotional needs, you just listened to what you wanted to hear. So now I kind of butt in a bit, like, oh, as you can see, they're just a little bit upset. So I
Mm,
think we'll just leave it at that. They're a bit upset. They're allowed to be upset. They don't need to harden up. It's all good. And
yeah,
the kids are like, oh, cuddle, mummy. Like, thanks for sticking up for me. Which
yeah.
is good. So I kind
Okay.
of stand up for them more of
So
their emotional needs.
yeah, so I guess what I'm hearing from you is that you have, yeah, been able to accept their emotions more.
Yeah. Yeah. And understand them in the tantrums.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been such a
That's been
pleasure.
awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, and is there anything that, like, you don't have to answer the last question, but if is there anything you would, I guess, would you recommend this course to other parents? Yes, no, maybe, maybe not.
Yeah,
Why?
no, 100%. It's it's really just getting to know yourself and so much better, which can support your children. So if you just, I don't know, want to learn more about yourself and your kids and why they're reacting certain ways, it's, to me, it's a no-brainer. Like, why would no one want to do that?
Yeah, thanks, Caitlin. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Mitch, do you want to share next?
Sure.
Go for it.
So I guess the reasons why I started. So I started this course as a healthier alternative to mediation. And whilst it definitely didn't go the way that I thought it was going to go, I'm actually very thankful that it actually went the way that it did. And I guess the biggest challenges for me were to do with communication and how to get my point across in the way that I intend the point to come across. So I think my intention was always pure, but the way in which I delivered it was poor. And so I just couldn't get my arrow to match up to the target. So I reckon I'd be pretty bad at archery, but I reckon I've definitely improved.
Well, what's changed within your communication?
Well, to put it bluntly, when I learned how to directly tell someone to get fucked, like as a symbol of just like not to, I guess, place my own desire for approval over being authentic, was probably, so I was probably tied in with wanting to please or wanting to make sure that I wasn't rejected in a way.
And where does this stem from? Would you say it stems from your childhood? So would you say that there's been an element of
childhood to some degree? Nothing in particular sort of sticks out at me at the moment. I think I had a very volatile, critical mother who wasn't supported by my father in any way, shape, or form, in terms of emotionally anyway. So he was very absent. So I guess I took responsibility for making sure that her feelings were taken care of, which is the mirror for my previous relationship. And it was interesting because I've realized now that it was sort of like an unconscious test on her behalf. She just kept picking, and being critical. And the moment that I put my foot down and told her to get fucked, all of a sudden the dynamic shifted, and now it's completely different. So it was nearly as though that was a test for me to step into my own sense of like strong leadership. And it didn't come from a place of, I'd said the same thing that I've said multiple times over the years, but I said it in such a way that had so much clarity and confidence and just certainty that the intention was felt versus my intention being pure and my delivery being poor.
Yeah. So would you say that possibly stepping into a healthier masculine energy that has been able, I don't know, it's like moving from like boy to man more, like I don't know, that's what I have witnessed in you, is like a shift in how you're a lot more direct and clear. And
yeah, it's like direct and clear were the two things that I was about to say, but just confident in what I know, I guess, or what I feel like I can see, and then not needing to be right.
There was also like an element, I think, that I've seen shift in you in how you also have a lot more empathy and compassion for another person and their experience of the world.
Well, that came from watching that James Gill. So the two things, the most pivotal things, was watching that James Gill podcast, listening to it, multiple times. And then
What came out of that for you? Like what shifted from that?
I didn't know that you could validate a behavior without accepting the behavior or
Yeah.
without making the behavior okay for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, that behavior's fucked. But I didn't know how to acknowledge it as acknowledging where the behavior came from, instead of thinking that if I'm to acknowledge this behavior, that would then send a signal to them that that's okay, and it's not okay. But I can choose to love where the experience came from as opposed to the behavior that's being elicited from the experience.
Yeah. And so that, as a parent, is a huge thing to be able to take forward on a parenting journey, because there's going to be times that all of our children behave in ways that are not okay. But for us to be able to know where that behavior is coming from allows us to have compassion and understanding and to meet the actual need of whatever is going on, but still hold a boundary. Can you see that? Like how you've learned that through someone else, but how that could also then be applied, with children.
Yeah. Yeah. The boundaries things, definitely, because I had very weak boundaries, but I just think that it was sort of like it was like a domino effect. It was like as soon as I felt as though, oh wow, I can acknowledge someone's experience without, while sort of giving them what they need,
Mm-hmm.
and still arriving at sort of some sort of middle ground, and that both of our experiences can be quote unquote right and true simultaneously.
Yeah, which is a really important thing for parents that are co-parenting.
Yeah, absolutely. And I used to think it was her, and I'd blame her, and blah blah blah. And then when I started to shift, and I would notice that she would not react to the same degree, and I was like, oh wow, she's obviously changed. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, well, no work's actually been done, so that's my change. So maybe I was leading the whole time, and here I am thinking that you know I'm the one essentially reacting to her.
Mm-hmm.
So she was sort of leading in a sense. So
Mm-hmm.
that's not ideal. So, and the inner child thing finally was the thing that removed the lens of needing to prove.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it was both a blessing and a curse, because I was sort of like, fuck, if I don't need to prove something to someone else, what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have the same desire or the same drive to want to win per se.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So would you say that then your motivator is more internal rather than external now?
well, it is now.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was sort of
That-
shifting that external locus of,
Yeah. So it's almost like I feel acting from a place of soul rather than ego a lot more now. Like when we go internal, it's fulfillment, it's soul, it's passion, it's from in, as opposed to needing something from out there, from what you're creating or sharing with the world.
yeah, it was a shift from like wanting to be right or not wanting to be wrong to basically just accuracy is the only metric. So it's either that I'm accurate in what I'm seeing, feeling, intuiting, etc., or I'm not accurate. But it's not that I'm wrong or that I'm trying to be right. It's just that accuracy is important to me because it means that I'm on the right track,
Okay.
that I'm heading in the right direction. If I'm accurate, I'm clear, as opposed to being right. Because sometimes we can be right and that's not necessarily
Mm-hmm.
truthful per se,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
or
Factual, maybe.
yeah, fact, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, thank you. Do you want to share anything else about any other positive changes, or recommend this course to parents or not?
I would like to say what has impressed me a lot, apart from your delivery, um, because obviously we've done a lot of courses and stuff together, but the way in which you delivered it was so like professional, and it was nearly as though you, like, the way in which you teach it is so authentic, and so like it's more from the heart. Like, you can just tell it's very, you do some courses and it's very intellectual, it's very like heady, it's very, even techniques and stuff can feel like you're talking to a robot, but I haven't felt or sensed that at all across the whole experience. And I think it's a credit to you and of how each person in here has been able to make so many like drastic shifts, and it's been fucking awesome. And I've just to witness the changes in other people, I think is some, or for me personally, it's way more gratifying watching someone else change than watching myself change. Just to be able to witness somebody else go through like a process and to know that you could witness the change, I think that's like the ultimate. So 100% I'd recommend the course. It's a parenting course masked as, sorry, it's a personal development course masked as a parenting course. And I think it's important to be able to come to the realization or the truth that most of your child's problems are inherited by us. So if we can create change, then we can lay a platform for change to happen with our kids. So sort of like two birds, one stone type thing.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So I'm moving along. I'm mindful of the time. Let's jump into David. Do you want to share in case Freya wakes up? Do you want to share anything around your experience, or
I'm going to jump off in 5, so I'll let someone else go in. That's cool.
No, do you want to share and then jump off?
Yeah, okay. So
Yeah, even though you haven't been on all the calls, you've been listening to all the modules.
I've been on most of the calls. I've only missed 2, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I did the course because I'm a dad now, so I figured I would get amongst it. I think the biggest shift for me has been at the start, I was probably a lot more focused on the problems that I was experiencing, trying to adapt and make life work. And yeah, now I'm at a space where I'm in solutions and things are starting to work and really flow a lot more. Yeah, keep mine short and sweet, but that's pretty much right.
So parenting with more ease and flow now.
Parenting's always been fine. I haven't had a problem with parenting. Like that hasn't been.
More ease and flow in the home now.
Sorry?
More ease and flow in the home now.
Structure, work schedule, us getting along. So yeah.
Cool.
That's what. Yeah, I haven't really had big shifts in my parenting because that wasn't what, like, that hasn't been a thing for.
I think that when the course is around our parenting, it doesn't necessarily mean our parenting. It might be who we're modeling, what we're modeling. The shift can be in our communication. It can be shifted, with our inner child. It can be a shift within many things, and all of that. Eventually, I guess it comes down to impacting our parenting, because our children either take on our shit or don't take on our shit because we heal it. And or they have effective models of how to be a human in their world, or maybe not so effective. So I think that's what I mean. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for being here.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Who have we got next? Kylie. So I am mindful of the time, so we can keep our shares succinct. Your turn, Kylie.
Yeah, so it's been a bit of a ride for me, to be honest. God, looking back on 4 or 5 months ago when we first started, there's been drastic change in me as a person. I don't know, like 4 months ago, I just was in a shitty place. I've just felt stuck. And I guess I was so desperate for something, I don't know, like help, support. And that's when I saw your course. And it was initially Mitch had put up a story on his Instagram in regards to your course, and I'd already been following you. So I looked it up and read up on it, and I thought, oh, this might help, this might be good. That's when I reached out to you, and I was so hesitant at the beginning. Like I wanted to do it, and I wanted to learn the tools, and I wanted to, make the change. But there was just that hesitancy there was still there. And I remember a few times, like I messaged you and said, I don't think I can continue the course. Like there was, like you just were really positive, and you just said, let me support you. Like I want to support you, and I'm so grateful for that, because I don't know, I've never really had anyone want to support me like that. So at a time I needed it most. But yeah, there was, I don't know, I just, being in that spot that I was in, back to the coast, I was just, it's not what I wanted. Like I don't know, I just felt like I wasn't moving forward, and I couldn't move forward. I couldn't see like a way out, if that made sense. And I guess what hit for me was like I need to sort this shit out. Like something needs to be done. Because I'm a mum, I have 2 children, and I don't want them to witness me like this. Like I need to be good for them. I want to change for them, and I want to be the best version of myself for my children and for myself, but for them more so. And the stuff I've learned from this course, it's like Mitch said, it's like a mask. It's more of a self-development course, which then enables you to be the best parent you can be. And that's so true. Because the stuff I've learned within myself, just the way I think, my outlook on things, life in general. When we first started about, whether you're in victim mode and all those other things, like I 100% was in victim mode when I started. I had this mentality of, all this stuff's happening to me. Why is this all happening to me? Like, what did I do to deserve all of this? And now I look back and I think, oh, it's happening for me. It happens for a reason. And I just, it's just done a lot. I'm not the person I was 4 months ago, 5 months ago. And in all the tools I've learned in regards to parenting, like it's insane how it works. Like the littlest things, like Caitlin said, you can change the littlest things in the way you acknowledge your children's emotions, or you just get down their level, or even just being present and playing with them. How much of a change, dramatic change that has in you, and healing not only in a child, but then the relationship you have with your children and being able to connect with them as well. My 2 boys, like it's like they're 2 totally different boys now as well. So there's been so much change within them. And I feel as though when we go back to Canberra, it's only going to get better, because we're not going to be in this chaotic household anymore. We're going to have our own space again, and our own home, you know, our home.
Yeah.
So
if you were to just
yeah,
share, Kylie, just like, you know, one or two, I guess, positive changes in one or two sentences, what would they be? The biggest positive changes in one or two sentences? Would you say more presence in your parenting? Or would you say your relationship with your kids has improved, or what would you say it's been?
my relationship with my kids has always been good. It's more, I think, my reactions to the children and reactions to my triggers, for what triggers me in regards to my children. Well, it's not my children, it's my own child. So, you know, previously, you know, a lot of mess would consume me and really overwhelm me if the house, like if their toys were everywhere and if they were running around going crazy making noise. They'd be having fun, but that would literally trigger me. Like I'd be like, stop making noise, like you need to calm down, like, you know. But now I'm just like, I just sit there and I'm like, I'll start playing with them, or I'll run around with them, or I'll just sit there and watch them.
Yeah.
And instead of having that negative reaction to what they're doing, it's positive. Like I actually get joy and happiness out of watching them play, like, and making that noise because they're happy.
Yeah.
It's just a totally different shift in the outlook on everything. Like,
and so I'm just mindful of the time, and I appreciate you sharing. Would you recommend this course in terms of parents?
100%. Yeah, 100% would recommend it. Like Caitlin said, the tools you can learn to utilize just with your children and your parenting. I think learning to understand your children's emotions and what they're trying to tell you, the underlying, you know, things that they're trying to tell you, and to have knowledge to be able to understand that and know what they are is huge, because their bad behaviors or their outbursts aren't them being a naughty child. I don't believe. And before, I wouldn't have even been able to recognize that. But knowing that and learning that,
that's so powerful,
is huge. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kylie. I appreciate all your vulnerability.
Okay.
I appreciate you trusting in the process and the journey, because I know there were some wobbles at the start, and I appreciate you trusting me. I just had a very deep knowing that you would move through many things. So yeah, thank you for trusting the process.
Thank you too. You've been amazing.
I know we still need
Thank you for everything.
I know we still need to connect as well. So we will do that. Jazz and Frankie, do you want to take it in turns one by one and just like maybe coming a bit closer to the camera and sharing? And I am mindful of the time, so if anyone does need to jump off, feel free. But I mean, it'd be nice to hear Jazz and Frankie share, but I can see the time, so we'll keep them real succinct.
I'll keep it short and sweet because my dinner's nearly ready and I'm super hungry. So the biggest challenge like at the start of the course for me would have been handling my daughter's emotions and the right way to go about it. And especially she really struggled with myself and Jazz moving in together. And it gets drilled into her where she lives that I don't love her a lot. So she takes that to heart. And because of the way I was handling with her emotions, she took it to heart more, obviously. So that was the biggest challenge for me, was her like accepting the move. The biggest positive change is she fully accepts it now. Like if she has a meltdown, I know how to handle it. Still have hiccups here and there, but I can really step in, handle it properly. She gets benefit out of it. It's solved quicker. She comes over now and gives Jazz a big hug and asks where Zara and Ollie are, and it's just so much better. It's like we're a solid family unit now from everything we've been doing here. And 100% recommend it for other parents. And the why is because you get to learn about the why and the why of kids are doing certain things. And everyone's been spot on when they say it was more of a personal development course than a parenting course, because I've just have so much more empathy for myself with every single module I did. It was like just seeing shit throughout my childhood in every module, just constantly like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. That's why, that's why. And yeah, empathy for myself and then empathy for the kids. Now I'm just like, that's why they're doing this and that's why. And I find it quite interesting once to like dive deeper and learn more about the whys. And yeah, it's more like come kind of a game sort of thing, like, because life is a game. So that's the way I see it now.
Yeah, look at things with a bit more lighthearted lens.
100%.
And I love what you shared, Frankie, about like the empathy, because I have seen you really shift with that. You know, we did that powerful inner child healing, and I've heard you time and time again, like the healing that you had with your dad as well, you know, like
Yeah.
how your dad was with you, and you know that you made it mean about you as a child, and you could really have compassion for that part of yourself, and how that has now allowed you to have more compassion for your kids, and
Yeah.
create change in that as well. So that's been really powerful to witness. So yeah, I'm so happy that you guys came and did the course, and thank you for trusting in me and the process.
No worries. Thank you. It's been really good.
And obviously you've got the modules, so you can rewatch them, guys, like as many times as you want, and reach out if you need anything as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I do. We did it yesterday actually, and I let my daughter put makeup on me, which is like probably the worst moment of my life because I have a fucking phobia about makeup. Like I don't even like on other people. I was freaking out, but to watch her laugh, man, it was worth it.
Beautiful. Jazz.
So the biggest challenge for me when I started was I had so much guilt that was just it was living with the guilt every day. I knew I was very emotionally absent and disconnected from my children in certain ways. I was always finding things to distract myself, and my listening was not great. And I was, I was making out I was listening to my kiddies, but I really was a million miles away most days. And our whole household at the time when we signed up to your course was quite reactive. We were quite, we weren't getting on all together that well. So we had lots of challenges to get through. And the positive changes, well, there's been a lot. There's much more togetherness as a blended family. We were sort of navigating how to improve all that when we first met with you, and we feel like there's so much more harmony in the home, and we're all really relating more to each other, and there's more affection happening, trust, like a family vibe, and more of an understanding of myself, more of an understanding of Frankie, and obviously of the 4 children too. So the connection's improved. And like for myself, I've done some healing with Ange, with you, and just so much self-reflection, understanding where the blocks are in my life to move forward. Also just being educated too, and understanding myself, my kids, why I feel this way, why they're reacting, because their needs weren't being met. And then I had an understanding that when I was a girl, my needs were not being met. And it just makes me emotional even thinking about it, because I got to, I don't know, unlock some things, but also just like really have empathy for my little Jazzy girl when she was young, because I felt so unloved as a kid. So I just feel like lots of positive changes have happened, and lots of insight. And I've also been able to guide some friends and give some advice, and just from the knowledge and education that you've given us and all of you guys in the whole group. So I feel really helpful too with my peers, and I'm able to give some advice, a little bit of advice when they're struggling with their kids, and that makes me feel very empowered too, to be able to help others. So I've been able to sprinkle a little bit of Ange everywhere. And would I recommend this course to other parents? I definitely would, and I do all the time. And even to people that aren't parents, I have friends that are struggling with themselves and relationships and their self-worth and stuff. And I recommend you all the time to people because it's so empowering to understand the patterns that we do display in life. And we do all struggle. And we're pushing 40 and we struggle so much. And I feel like the key to happiness is healing the inner child. And so, yes, definitely recommend. And it's worth every dollar. And and it's just good and to have more awareness and understand ourselves. And it's just a journey that I'm looking forward to keep working on every day and, getting to unlock that true happiness eventually. It's good. It's work in progress, but I know I'm very grateful for Frankie too, and in many, many ways. But I'm also very grateful that he is open to this holistic sort of stuff, and he's so supportive, and his willingness to always grow is such a good influence on us all. So thanks, babe.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, it's been really powerful and beautiful to witness your journey, Jazz, and all the unraveling and the insights and the awarenesses. But having you guys as a live couple on the call, and I know that it's helped many people on this call. Being able to see you guys interact, show up, take responsibility, share vulnerably and authentically. It's been super powerful to have you guys as a couple on the call. So deeply appreciate both of you and all your shares, and for showing up. And what else do I want to say? Yeah, we can connect more, Jazz. Sometimes when we do something like this, it's like a bit of an unlocking, and I guess what I want to say is it's a journey. There's no we don't need to put pressure on ourselves to be magically healed, there's nothing wrong with you. You don't need fixing. It's just a journey that we go on where we start to uncover. And I guess what I want to say, reclaiming our power, remembering who we are, and being able to express our authentic selves into the world. And I think that's what the world needs more of, and that's what our children need more of, right? So that then they can be more of themselves. What else would I say? What else do I want to say? Yeah, I think that's mainly it. I think that's everyone who has shared. So I deeply appreciate all of your shares tonight. And I will be launching this course again. If you do have anyone you want to refer to the course, I offer a referral gift. So the course is, as you all know, $3,000. So if you refer anyone to the course and they sign up, then I will gift you back $300, 10% of the course. So keep that in mind if you want to.
That cash or?
That's cash. That's cash. If you're near me, cash. I'm not gonna send you cash in the post. I'll do a bank transfer. But I can put gift on there so you don't have to pay tax on it. So that just as an appreciation, if you feel to share the course, please do. And I always show my appreciation for anyone who sends people my way, because as you all know, I'm deeply passionate about this work and creating change in our world, particularly with our kids and with parenting. And I feel that if we all did this work, then the world would be a much better place. So where we can all live a lot more authentically and from our heart space. That's my main intention. So that being said, thank you, all of you. The thread is still there. I'm not going to close it off. If you need anything, please reach out. I will pop this recording up on the platform so that you can do that process at any time or whenever you desire. I might even actually cut it from the call so that you can actually just press play and stop, so you don't have to go and find it within the call. I might just edit it so you've got the process there as well. Otherwise, that's it. And we've gone well over time. So thank you for staying back tonight. It's a late night for all of you with your kids, unless you're in WA. But yeah, I appreciate each and every one of you. Please reach out if I can help you in the future, or if you need anything at any point. That's it, guys. Thanks for being such an interactive, committed. You have been the most committed group I've had. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We love you.
Bye. Guys. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.